elevator music? This guy's cheaper than Jameson. Smells like sweaty fat guys and burritos in here. No offense to burritos.
So where is all the stuff that that Raven gave us?
Well, if it isn't the Kingpin. Catchy name, but I have to say, you look more like a bowling ball than a pin. Or maybe a beach ball?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I mean, I'm impressed. You take control of crime in New York right under everybody's nose. The whole city knows you're crooked, and everyone still kisses your tuchus. Which must take what, like a week? A lot of ground to cover is what I'm saying.
The only criminal I see is the masked man guilty of breaking and entering into my private building. A violent vigilante. The Daily Bugle has branded a menace.
Fine, play it like that. But one way or another, you're going down.
And now you've threatened me. I dare say Jonah Jameson will praise me as a hero after I kill you. In self-defense, of course.
You set Cletus Cassidy loose on the city. Not just to wipe out your rivals, but to scare people. To make things so bad, when you took over, it'd look like you fixed it.
And who else is gonna fix it? Huh? You? Running around in a costume, acting as some adolescent power fantasy. I live in the real world, Spider-Man.
You're so fat, you're the same height lying down.
Guys, welcome back to the Don Drysdale channel. Obviously we're fighting the Kingpin. His name was only mentioned about 500 times, so I fought him about 4 or 5 times before I really figured out how to beat him. He's actually pretty simple to figure out. It's just that I tried to finish him off real quick and beat him real quick, and that's the game wants you to fight him for a long time to seem like it's an interactive fight, but it's really not. He has a big pattern to him. These guys that you fight right here are the guys you want to take out first. You just basically want to leave the Kingpin alone. Take these guys out with the Sonic Blast and stay away from the Kingpin, especially when he's around the 2 guys in yellow, the security guards, I guess you would call it. You just take their little electric sticks and stick them to the ground and just ionic blast the shit out of them and stay away from them, because they're not really a threat. But if the Kingpin gets his hands on you or hits you with his little ray gun from his staff there, it takes off a considerable amount of damage. And he does this little sumo rage thing. And what I figured out is you try to line up his security guards with him doing his sumo rage. See, if you stand in front of him and then you induce that little sumo thing, he will hit them and take them into the wall and give them damage. But I tried to do this with see, you can induce that little rage thing from the Kingpin and damage him and beat him without beating the other guys, but he calls down 3 more guys. So then you have to do it with 5 guys, and that really didn't work out so well with me, because one of the guys, he has a weapon that he shoots at you, which stuns you, so you can't do any of your special little moves and stuff like that. I think I get a nice little lineup right here, but he takes that one guy and hits that one guy. But it's very repetitive is what it is. The Y and L, you don't exactly have to do that. You can do the double tap right and left trigger to jump up in the air and get away from Kingpin and fly over the top of them. But the Y and the L they induce the slow-mo, which is what you want, because then you can line up your shots on the security guys. So I mean, it's a very generic fight, really. I mean, it's not anything hugely hard at all. But he gets in a couple of good shots on me, but that's strictly because I forget to hit the Y button to avoid his attack, and I get hit by these guys right here. Your Y button is your best friend when you're fighting this guy. It lets you get out of the way and dodge. See, he grabs you. I got in the middle of those guys and he grabs you. He takes off like a sixth of my health or something like that. Pretty good amount, but once you get to the third guys, and I'll talk about it here in a second, see, he takes that guy out, so you're able to beat up on this guy a little bit before they recover. He like sticks in the wall or something. If you get close to the wall and then you avoid his attack, he gets stuck to the wall, and then you can concentrate your efforts on these guys right here. I wish they would just taken out the security guys and just made Kingpin more lethal or something. The security guys they're just strictly window dressing, I think. They don't really add anything. They're just there to make it a little bit more difficult, which is what they should have done, is just make Kingpin more difficult. Give him a lot broader range of moves and stuff like that where you're fighting him. I don't know, give something like that, but once you figure out how to do it, it's not hard at all. The attacks that the Kingpin has, they're not hard to avoid. It's just that they put these security guys in there, so you just can't run around and hit the Kingpin whenever the hell you wanted. And you just take these guys and beat the shit out of them. That fucking armor that's on there is so stupid. That armor. I bought the game and I like it alright, but I just think that it just has so much generic. It's like the off-brand of a good cereal, you know? It's alright, the cereal's alright, but it's not the same as the good cereal, you know, the off-brand fucking Fruit Loops or some shit like that. It tastes alright, your first bowl. But your second bowl and your third bowl, they just make it taste even more horrible, you know, every time you play it. I didn't find anything about this boss battle particularly interesting. I think that they made it as difficult as they could with the very little that they had put into it. And I think that there's very little put into this thing. After I finish this guy off, you can you fight the Kingpin for just a little while, and you can heal up during that time. You can heal up against these guys too, while you have the security guards here, but it makes it a lot more difficult. It's not like you get the entire bar back. You only get a little bit at a time, and that's not to say that you don't get hit by them or knocked over by them, but he runs, gets stuck in the wall, and then concentrate on beating the shit out of this guy right here. That armor. Let's see, knock that armor off. Now it's just him. And that's the attack, the ranged attack that packs the most punch for him and is the hardest to avoid. See, you can just avoid him the entire time. That laser beam attack is the one that you really want to concentrate on staying away from and beating him up. And this is a long boss battle, but it's not hard. That's what the thing is that it's not difficult to beat it. It's just very time consuming to beat him. I mean, they should have made it hard so it was time consuming, but this is all it is. I mean, it's very generic, and I got a cough, so if I cough during this commentary, I'm sorry about that, but don't have a cough. I got the flu or some shit like that, so be glad you're on DVD. I mean, on DVD on fucking YouTube, so you don't get that shit. But you just avoid, stay away from him. Heal up, stay away from him, and do these little sumo rage things, and then you go in and you start punching on him again. And then now you get the 3 guys coming down here. And the one with the yellow ray gun is the guy that you want to try to get his weapons from first, because he's the one that has the range attack. And I don't understand why they didn't just take these guys out and give the Kingpin more ranged attacks, you know? And make it a shorter boss battle. He's got that, but I don't think I ever even get hit by that. I mean, he takes out his guy right there and hits him. And every time he does an attack, it also affects his security guards too. So when he jumps up in the air and does his little sumo slam or whatever the fuck you call it, he hits his guys too, which is kind of cool, and takes out some of them guys. But see, you knock that guy over right there when he jumped up, and they taunt you and say the same thing over and over and over again, and it drives me nuts. You get to run out of stuff to talk about in this thing right here. There's really not a whole lot to even tell you about. And if you wanna, the only one that you can't take him out of, I get hit right there. So you get in the middle of those guys and then get hit. So you get out of there quick. And now you're shrugging off this fucking. And you can run around and charge up the Siphon Class too. I don't know whether I mentioned that or not, but he's gonna sumo rush your ass. Because it's slow motion. And the real fucking fucked up thing is that once you get these 3 guys, you don't have to defeat the 3 guys. You can beat up on them a little bit just to keep them off your ass, but all you have to do is when you get these 3 guys, you don't even have to beat them. You just have to beat the Kingpin. That's all you have to beat. You just avoid him, do his little rage thing, go in and punch him some more, back out of there with your Y button. It's a cool stage. It's got wide open space, which is good, but I think the security guard thing is just dumbs down Kingpin's power. You know, like in the comics, he's prepared for a lot of stuff that goes on, and he has an answer for a lot of things in the comic book. But in this, it just looks like a fat guy running around chasing a smaller guy, like Thin Man and Fat Boy or some shit like that. So he takes out that guy again. But you just go in and beat him up, and then you get out of there. Hit him some more, back off. Hit him some more, back off. But don't even concentrate on beating the 3 security guards here. Just go in and punch the fat man. He's not fat, by the way. They keep calling him fat, but if you ever read the comics or anything, you know that it's all muscle underneath there. It's not anything fat at all. He's a real badass in the comics, and they make him into a fucking sumo wrestler in this with a cane. You know, he doesn't give any of the range attacks. You notice that he doesn't give any of the laser beam attacks while you're fighting these 3 guys. So I find that kind of stupid, and doesn't make it difficult to beat him at all. It's just a run around, hit him, run around, hit him, avoid the attack. See, it stuns those guys, so which I think is kind of funny. But I'm just trying to work my way into inducing one of these little sumo rage things from the Kingpin. Staying away from him. I don't want to get that one hit, because if he gets one lucky shot on you, especially with that rush thing, he takes out a lot of your health. A lot of your health. And if you get him on that, oh, get out of there. Oh, there we go. See, that's what you don't want to get involved in. You don't want to get involved in dealing with those guys at all. And every time you hit him with that sonic thing, it just takes off across the room. And that's what you want to do. Just sit there and beat him. See? He just happens to fall right into his chair.
I'm not a fool,
And the 3 security guards, they're just like, whatever, dude. Well, peace out. You beat him, so we're going to take the elevator back up.
Against me.
I have proof you paid Craven.
No, my task force did. As a security consultant. I am shocked and horrified to hear he's done anything improper. If indeed he has. He was hired for his legendary skills and a strong code of conduct that would never allow him to betray a client.
Craven might not give you up, but Cassidy will.
A lunatic like that? Oh, come now. His word can hardly be believed. And besides, a man would have to be a fool to deal with someone of his ilk directly. I assure you, I am no fool. I'm afraid, Spider-Man, that you are the only criminal here.
Yeah? We'll see about that.
This is not an action film, boy. Just because you're young does not mean you can hack my security and gain access to my personal... How are you doing that?
Huh. Now who's underestimated who?
Stop that! I demand you stop...
All units. Max Dillon has escaped custody and is at large in Sector 4.
What did you do?
I have no idea what you mean. Thank you for showing me my areas of vulnerability. I assure you, they will be gone when you return.
So you start running now? Wow. Well, guys, I think that's going to do it for this round. Looks like we get old Electro next.